Hey, AfterBuzz TV fans, tune in now for Shooter After Show, Episode 5, Recon By Fire.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes, little ooh, with the fancy lights.
I liked it.
Excellent. This is the after show for Shooter Episode 5. We got a full panel here.
Woo, finally.
Yes, I know it's been a minute since we've all been back. Before we recap the episode, Desola, where can they find you?
You can find me at Desola B, DAYSHOLAB, every social network possible.
Nice, man.
You guys can find me at Mariann_Shag at all socials as well.
Awesome. And you guys can find me, JB, at Hey John Blake. Recon By Fire. Oh, by the way, we used a song from the end of the episode. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what's a little shout out to the artiste?
I think I had the name wrong, but I think it's Svedlia, and it's called The Valley. So, hey, Svedliza. Svedliza. Something. Svedliza. We really like your song.
It's a good song.
Yes.
Don't follow the closed captions, though, when trying to track down that artist. They misspelled it.
You did.
But yeah, let's talk about the episode. They basically had two storylines this episode, and they didn't really overlap as much. We had the Payne Memphis story, everything that's going down with them, and obviously the Bob Lee stuff. But let's talk about the Memphis storyline, because that's kind of where the last episode leaves off. Obviously, Payne had a failed assassination attempt trying to make up for all of that. Leaves her a little present, a bouquet of roses at the office. What do you guys think about that?
You look at me like, well, you know how I feel about Jack. He's a pain, as we always say. And
pun intended.
Yes, and we were saying that he was becoming a little less of a pain, but then now he's really showing himself. And I made a point last week to say that I feel like they're in love. Well, he's in love with her, and it's kind of made me feel that way this episode. He sent her the roses, and then when she went and saw all the dead bodies, there was another rose there, and then he mentioned the fact that you got my rose and you didn't say anything. It's really weird. It's really odd.
He's just trying to give her flowers.
Yeah,
man.
it's weird, and he's very bold.
It's like, it seems like a very creepy romance.
Yes.
Like he is that guy that stalks her from the side, but like totally quiet in the dark, and it happened in the parking lot as well.
Yeah.
So I think he might have a little crush on her, but then he doesn't know how to handle it because he's technically the bad guy in the entire show.
Payne just doesn't know how to handle his emotions and his feelings.
He likes to play games. That's his thing, playing games.
Yeah, he's playing real hard to get.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely adds up to me as well. I mean, he is very creepy. But just thinking back to the last episode when he was trying to kill Memphis, he was doing it in a very seductive-y way. Like, this is they even kind of recapped it in the beginning of the episode. He was just like, "Yeah, this is gonna kill you pleasantly," and he was like getting on top of her. It was it was very rapey.
It was. That's why I'm like.
I mean, I don't know if he's into that kind of thing, but it wouldn't I wouldn't
be surprised.
Yeah,
he kills people for a living.
He is a bad guy.
So raping them probably won't be too far off for him.
One more reason to hate the character, I think.
No, I still don't hate him as much as Johnson, though.
True. I mean, Johnson. I mean, we'll talk about this in a little bit, but he is so far gone that I don't even know why. He wasn't maimed more.
Oh my God!
By Bob Lee.
I'm like, we're not there yet.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
We'll get there. We'll get there. I do want to touch on a few more of those pain points because it was weird how much he is toying with Memphis. He knows where she lives. They didn't touch on that this episode, which I was kind of looking for. Like, what is her living situation? Obviously, her house no longer safe. So maybe she's held up in a hotel somewhere, but she's not really being as careful as one would expect someone who almost got killed.
Well, remember, she didn't want to.
She doesn't want to raise any red flags.
She doesn't want anyone to know about the situation that happened. with she and Jack. So
Right. At
so
the
she
same
kind of
time,
has to
yeah.
be regular. But I get what you're saying. Like she's not being so cautious.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, you know that like Bob Lee said that I've been looking out for you, and he's all like, "Oh, are we partners now?" So maybe she feels a little bit more comfort knowing that he might be looking after her, so she doesn't really need to be as careful.
Right. Yeah, you're right. They definitely made that deal where she was like, "You better start watching out for me, like more effectively,
Yeah.
because this breaking in and almost dying thing does
It's
not
not
work."
happening.
So can I make a point to that? I'm
You
gonna
may.
call it again. I feel like I don't know why, but I feel like there's something's gonna happen between Memphis and Bob Lee. Just because I don't know, like something like
Like romantic.
yes, only because
Really?
yeah, because think about it. If they're gonna be working together so often, I don't know, something's bound to happen, like a kiss or something. I just feel it. I'm calling it right
Fair
now.
enough.
It might
Well,
be
I
season
mean-
2. I don't know, but I'm calling that.
They are both attractive people. I mean, if something happens to the wife right now, I think, they've been able to organize conjugal visits, as we saw in the
Oh,
beginning.
yeah. Oh,
So,
Yeah, the beginning. I was not expecting that. Very
yeah, they went 0 to
100. Very
Yeah.
Real quick.
maybe like 50 because it was censored. So 0 to 50.
It was, yes, it is.
If
The
it was like
cable
HBO or
network.
something, then maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But he had a little hideout house that she knew about and was able to get there. Interesting that she was able to get away to that little like secluded cabin thing that they had, because obviously there's
The
news
people
crew
in front of her.
staking out her house. I've got to imagine that whoever is on like the Meacham team, I guess Payne is kind of preoccupied with Memphis right now, but it seems like, or I'm surprised that she was able to get there safely and not be tailed or
I
anything.
feel like the only people that are really following her right now are, well, I guess the news crew outside of her house, and then that's pretty much it because everyone else thinks that Bob Lee is dead.
Right.
Well, people
Ooh,
who were
good
following
point,
her,
good point, yeah.
So it's kind of like maybe there's a little less heat on her right now, so she actually can go out there. But after what she did, the heat's back on.
not so much anymore.
The
So you
heat's
might be
back on.
right. I don't think there's going to be
Yeah.
as many conjugal visits happening anytime soon because
She's so bold, and I love it.
But I
Well,
think
yeah, she had to flip it. I mean, I think she definitely made the right move. Memphis is not handling the situation well. I mean, again, I think even though she didn't want her office really to know, she's not a huge hit with the FBI right now. But she, just with their colleagues, wasn't really keeping an extra eye out. Like you would think, again, after almost being killed, knowing that this guy is still out there, like an assassin. He's not just like a crazy stalker dude. He's like a well-trained dude that honestly gave Bob Lee like a run for his money.
Yeah.
Like he totally, he almost killed him. So if I were her, I would definitely have more of a head on a swivel situation going on.
Yeah.
Just getting out of the car when she didn't get, like, her colleague kind of grabbed her bag
and they kind of disappeared,
Yeah,
and she was left there alone.
I saw it come. I was like, okay, he's gonna be there.
Right.
I was like, it's obvious because the camera angles, it got all quiet. It was very like, ooh, like, I don't know. I just think it's
that was a little bit predictable.
very predictable.
The only thing that struck me during that scene actually was when she's kind of having this like conversational standoff with Payne, and ends up mistakenly like clocking her
Somebody
colleague
else,
again,
yeah.
who's coming back. But you would think, since they're clearly shouting to each other, that guy, if he was so close,
He
would
would've
have heard the
heard,
It's so
right?
conversation.
dumb,
That's what I
exactly.
was
And then the guys, I was like that. This show they've done a really good job when it comes to like technicalities,
Right.
except right then and there, because I was like, there's no way the guys walked away that fast to where it was like 5 seconds
Right.
and then he started yelling.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
it didn't make sense.
I think, obviously they have to edit it for time.
Yeah.
On TV, we only have like 46 minutes to watch this whole show, so there is that. But I feel like if they drew out that like a longer moment of silence from like the last comment and then she hit him, I would have bought into it a little bit more.
Exactly.
But
I feel like a lot of
we're
times
splitting hairs. Of
Yeah,
course.
a lot of times I guess a lot of people don't pay as much of attention to that kind of stuff, so they're probably like, oh, it's fine.
I mean, it's such a smart show in like every other way. I mean, they really go in depth in all of the details, like, you know, to the point of you know, Bob Lee details how many feet like the bullet drops like over the flight path, like that type of research is really cool. Obviously, I'm not like fact checking that, but it's cool. Hopefully, if you know there are people who do know about, you know, sniping and that kind of that world, that they that would be accurate.
And they have some really cool camera angles again, because they didn't do any cool effects last episode,
Right?
But this time they had another bullet effect, and then even the angle when Bob Lee was riding the motorcycle and the camera in the helmet. I like that. I thought it was cool. I was like, oh, okay, I like that. I pay attention to that little stuff. I don't know. It makes it a little more I don't know, different. Yeah, different than other shows.
Definitely. I mean, I think this show. What?
His reaction, you're like,
No, I was thinking about like.
yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
No, the camera angles strike me most when they do like the bullet scenes.
Sorry, that was fun. We both were laughing because your reaction was, you're like, okay, no one cares about that, but okay.
No, I honestly didn't even notice that. So
okay.
It took me a minute to
Did you
even
notice
think
it?
about what like you were talking
Or
about.
no? Okay, well. I like making videos. Sorry, you guys. I pay
Totally.
attention
No,
to that.
hey. Again, that just proves the point of like how like detailed the show is. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I even miss. But I am a big fan. It surprised me at how good the show is. After seeing the movie, I didn't know like how long they'd be able to stretch that storyline out. But it's so much more in depth and so much like I'm very pleasantly surprised every week to watch this show, because there's so many cool things that they go into.
And they have so much more that they can do, because I feel like we're missing. Like I'm waiting for Johnson to die every episode. He doesn't die. He's never gonna die. God.
Oh, he'll die.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He'll
Eventually.
die.
But how dumb do I feel? I wrote a note. I said it seems like Payne might be an assassin. And I'm just thinking like, oh my God, like it's like the 5th episode, and I'm just now realizing that he's an assassin. Because I don't know why, it just didn't click to me. Yeah, I said he might be.
Just,
and
this
I wrote,
Payne guy is kind of a bad seed.
yeah, and I should have written ... I don't know. I just feel so dumb because
Just like
I never realized.
getting a villain vibe from Payne.
I never realized that he was an assassin. So
He could be. I think in this episode, it became a lot more clear that he is from a very different background than Isaac Johnson.
Yes.
And you know, we had talked about this before, sort of the rift between them. It seemed like they started out as very much a team, and then we kind of saw that unraveling and them bickering more and more. Now it's clear that like their training, I think, is from completely different places. Like, you know, Isaac Johnson, we know, was in the army, which is why he's kind of like a disciplined dude, like tightly wound with the tie and everything in the suit. But Payne, I think, is very much so like a kind of a black ops, like, you know, off the grid type of mercenary for hire. Like, he does wet work. He's like a paid assassin. Like, he just like loaded up a shotgun. He's like, dude, I'm gonna go kill some people. Nothing you'd be interested in.
All casual.
So, you know, the confrontation with them is definitely growing. And, you know, they're telling each other less and less.
Yeah.
He didn't even reveal who he's after, like Memphis. The fact that Bob Lee is still alive, like, he didn't even say that. Like, they didn't have that.
Oh, I didn't even think about that
Conversation. You know, all these people that Payne obviously murdered at the like Chinese restaurant.
Yeah. Voidian's men.
Yeah. The restaurant. I thought it was a Chinese restaurant because they're Russians. I guess Russians can be Chinese when they want.
But literally, it was a blood bath. Like,
right.
Everyone was dead in there. But it's amazing how he like was able to do that so clean cut and get out.
Yeah, by himself. I mean, maybe he called in reinforcement. We didn't see the event actually go down. But if he was able to kill like powerful, like mob type people or anything, I mean, I think that was the reason Memphis was originally tracking them, if my memory serves.
I don't even know.
I think because she was working with Dimitri, so then she wanted to
Voidian.
find some sort of connection back to him because he was found dead. And then everyone who she was trying to find ends up also being dead.
Right.
Which then connects the entire thing of Payne is the one who she should be going after.
That's another issue I have. That I'm thinking about this scene, and it makes so much sense that he takes a shotgun, kills an entire restaurant, and no one hears anything. There's no cops called. Like, it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that makes no sense. How?
Yeah.
Like, how is that possible to kill? It's daytime. You kill all these people, and like, it would have made that scene way more exciting. But maybe that was the point. But it just doesn't make sense. But whatever.
Maybe he's that good.
That he has a silent shotgun?
You can put a silencer on a shotgun, I think. I don't know what kind he was using, but
okay,
crazier things have happened.
Did you guys notice that when Bob Lee was practicing his shots with that bullet, he used his own face, pictures of himself?
Yeah, that
was so
is
weird.
interesting. I
I
don't
was
know
like,
why.
I was like, that
That
might
was pretty
be, like, you might be asking for the wrong thing. Like, you're practicing shooting yourself in the head. You might get shot in the head, probably. It was weird. I just noticed that, and I don't know if you guys noticed it. It was weird.
Yeah, the one I don't know why he had been collecting them or something. Kind of a memento. That is an interesting choice by obviously the production team to include that. I mean, no accident that he was.
Well, maybe because obviously directly he is the target right now, so maybe it's a psychological thing of he is the target, so he is shooting at the target, which is him. So it might be like him trying to figure out himself.
Some subliminal messaging there.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question. Well, no, because we've seen him shoot at pumpkins. We've seen a lot of wide variety of like targets.
This is so funny. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't. That's
You're like
it's
so
honestly
lost
kind
for
of
words today with everything we're saying. You're
Lots
just
of
like,
words.
yeah.
I mean, you're raising good questions. I thought about that, but only now that you brought it up, like it is a little weird.
It is weird.
Like,
Yeah.
well, no, I mean just like shooting. I've been to a target range before. Like the last thing I would want to shoot at is myself.
Exactly.
Like,
I'd be nervous. Like someone's gonna
I'd
see
be
me
like
shoot me.
intentionally missing.
Yeah.
Just like, oh no, I shot the floor again. Sorry. But yeah, that's a really weird point. I don't know. Very strange. But I mean, that speaking of which, that bullet is insane. Like it not only didn't break,
Hard
but
polymer.
it punctured the entire thing. Like twice as like it punctured like two of those sheet things. Like it went all the way through and out the other side.
Yeah.
And the other bullets he used didn't even scathe like one side.
Well,
So-
they were even saying the bullet that was used on the president, it didn't
Right.
even seem like it was a used bullet.
Yeah, it was completely intact, which is
Yeah.
insane.
Which,
Again,
can I say, I would never have the brains to do what Bob Lee did into finding that bullet.
I'd be
Because
so
that's
scared.
a little insane to think that it was in a tire of one of the cruisers. Like, what? Mind blown.
I'd be afraid
Yeah,
to go
that
and
was
get
insane.
it. Like he didn't care. He
Right.
was just like, oh yeah, I was sitting here by the office. I'm just thinking like, you're so insane and so brave. He just doesn't care about it. He like doesn't give
Yeah, I mean,
two shits about
that.
anything.
The beginning of that scene definitely like struck me like, really, he's just gonna like break into like the cop repair shop
your
and like
thick-ass
get
glasses,
the
like-
bullet that no one else has found for weeks. But I did like how they kind of followed it up with him very quickly getting caught. Like that made it a lot more realistic for me.
Exactly.
That maybe he is able to sneak in there, but pretty quickly people do find it out, and like he wasn't honestly in there for very long. Like he
wasn't.
pulled made that car kind of cut in front so it would be jacked up like right away. He jacked it up, took the tire off, and was like checking out.
Yeah.
So
And I kind of liked how they made the mechanic say that, like it looked like Bob Lee to Johnson. Like
Right.
he wasn't totally oblivious. I like that little twist because then it's bringing up questions again and making Johnson doubt a lot more, which obviously then led him to like actually follow him.
right.
But
Well, yeah, I mean, props on to Johnson for once for actually like following up on a lead and being able to get there as fast as possible. Obviously, the guy that saw Bob Lee at the shop like called it in and like as a reporting, but Johnson had to get there first to kind of shut down the story, because if word gets out that he's not dead, it's going to be very bad for Johnson.
I mean, Johnson knew he was alive in the first place.
Well, yeah, I think
obviously.
he suspected
Yeah.
that it was a little too easy to kill him. Like he shoots one shot from the cabin,
And bam.
and kaboom. So I think he, knowing how good Bob Lee really is, like, is very skeptical about how easy it was, which is why he obviously goes on this like vigilante mission alone to try to get him. And again, he gets pretty close by like figuring out where to go, but
Bob Lee's
you know,
always one step
it's-
ahead of him.
yeah, and I think it shows like that it's been a little while since Johnson's actually been out in the line of fire, like doing those kinds of missions by himself. He's gotten a desk job for too long, I think.
What'd you guys think about the Tree of Liberty?
The Tree of Liberty was very interesting. I mean, I liked how they caught Johnson pretty quickly.
Yes.
Because he had them in his scope, and then cut to him being tied up and just punched in the gut, as he should. Very interesting though in terms of the times we are in now. I mean, I know this show, this whole season was delayed from, it was supposed to air in the summer. It's actually delayed twice. But now, obviously, in this like soon-to-be Trump presidency, it seems like that really struck me watching it. The Tree of Liberty was really about like preventing like a one world government, and like a lot like they were giving me vibes of like anti-diversity, like that type of, not necessarily like neo-Nazism or that kind of extreme, but very like conservative alt-right type of vibes. Yeah, extremists.
Well, were they all army men? That's where I kind of got confused.
No, I mean, I think it was started by a former Navy guy, the big boss dude. His brother was only 17, so I don't think he wouldn't have been able to go into the army.
That's what I was kind of concerned
Right.
about. I was gonna be like, wait, he can't even be in the army if he's.
Maybe he was in
Right.
ROTC.
He could have been. I mean, he's very good at computers.
in high
Plus,
school they do that, so-
related to this Navy guy who, obviously looking up to his older brother.
Balls in.
He's clearly like a macho dude that like is trying to do something and probably recruited all the other guys for this crazy cause. I mean, they're about to stage like a huge bombing. Who knows, the casualties that they were going after, like whatever they were planning. They had a lot of like, of explosives ready to go, a lot of ammunition, clearly.
Bob Lee looked out for Joey a lot.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
He looked out for him a lot. I mean, he did steal his phone. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, and that's how he made the call to like
ATF.
anonymously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Tipped him
so,
off.
but he looked out for him a lot, just because he knew what he was doing. Like he would be nice to him, but then he'd be like kind of, whatever. And then he'd be nice because he knew he'd like gain his trust, and
Right.
then he'd finally get the name. And I don't know, he helped him out because he helped him stay alive, actually. Because he would have died if he was able to drive that van out there.
Yeah.
Totally,
no
yeah. I
question.
mean, yeah, and Joey was definitely not giving it easily. Like he was being a bit of a dick to
Yeah.
Bob Lee the entire time. But yeah, I think Bob Lee realized that like he was just a kid. I mean, he's
He
only
Peter was
influenced
saying
by
if
his
you go
brother.
to school and meet
Yeah.
girls and just
exactly.
enjoy youth.
He's like, let your brother live his
good.
own
I mean,
life.
Yeah.
definitely a pro of school for sure. There's learning, but there's also other benefits. No, I mean aside from just girls, I do think our schooling does teach us a lot of social skills, and if you're not involved in that, I think you can miss out on a lot, and that
You have to grow
is
up too
when
fast.
well no, and that's just when like these extremist values can be pushed on you. Like if that's all you know, and you're like sort of sheltered from the world or greater society, you can get sucked into that very easily. I mean, you only know what you're exposed to, and if you're not exposed to other viewpoints, then your only choice really is to accept the one that's in front of you.
His brother also wasn't very motivating towards him.
He wasn't nice to him. He was addicted.
I don't want to say he was
tough love for sure.
I don't want to say he was mean because he obviously cared for his brother, but he wasn't the kind of brother that's like, go and do whatever you want to do. He was like, you're good at computers.
Supportive.
That's
Not
it.
very
Don't
supportive,
do anything else. Computers is your game, you know. And he obviously wanted to be more frontline, which could have been his brother looking out for him, like, no, you don't need to be out there shooting people and stuff. Like, you need to.
Right.
But then he sent him to go drive the bomb van.
Yeah. See, I think Bob Lee was, in a weird way, I feel like Bob Lee took over the big brother role in this episode for Joey. Yeah, especially when he was trying to teach him how to shoot. Because he was, like, even saying to Joey's brother, like, no, his form and technique is good. It's just him, like, being able to take the reins and do it himself.
Oh, all the while his brother's, like, laughing at him. Like, oh,
yeah. So
you can't do it. You can't shoot. You're a suck.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think Bob Lee found, like, sort of an in with them. And, you know, obviously he doesn't have a lot of friends right now.
Mm-hmm.
People either, like, A, think he's dead, or B, think he's, like, a fugitive that tried to kill the president. Like, what's more un-American than that? So, you know, I think he really wants to play to everybody's good side. You know, he obviously has a history a little bit with this Navy guy who's, like, kind of the head of this faction. But he's got, you know, a good heart, so like trying to figure out.
Though too, did you not notice that? Like he called them on the ATF or whatever.
Right, because I mean they were about to kill like a massive amount of civilians.
Yeah, but
I think he just wanted them to look at the bigger picture. Like what they were gonna do isn't the smartest thing to do.
Well, yeah, I think his initial objective going to meet them was to find out about this bullet. You know, once he was there, just trying to figure out, like, what they were doing, not necessarily, like, trying to always be, like, a wrench in the machine.
Yeah.
But I think once he did find out that it was, like, something so bad that was going to kill innocent people, I think he was like, okay, I got to do something about
And
this.
how ironic was it that he happened to know the guy? Of course he knew the guy. The guy who made
with
the bullet.
With a weird name.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
O'Brien.
whatever his name was.
O'Brien is his last name.
It was with the R. It was something with
Rudolph
R.
O'Brien. Let's call him that from now. He's like, Rudolph? Oh, that's the homie. No.
He's like, oh, that's my boy.
It looked like
let me text him.
I'm like, maybe like I feel like they're like, okay, for a quick second I was like, is that his dad? Only because did you see in the teaser for the next episode the guy says, that's what I taught you, or the Rudolph
Something
guy or O'Brien taught him, said I taught you that way or something.
Yes,
Bob
in
Lee.
the preview.
And I'm thinking, ooh, is that his dad? Is that who it is? Probably not, but I mean, who knows?
Yeah, I think if it was, he would have called Daddy-O way long ago.
But maybe they don't have a good relationship. We don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see next episode, but I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, I'm very curious about that relationship, though. You know, obviously, it's not a easy material to come by, like the polymer that they were talking about. You know, Bob Lee was kind of asking questions. The Navy guy was like that was the one thing he really kept close to the chest, and in every other way he was so welcoming to Swagger. Like, you know, this is my boy. Like, you know, kind of shutting down everything that Joey was saying, and Joey was definitely being a negative Nancy for like the entire thing.
Why does Bob Lee keep letting Johnson off? He knew that rock was there. He's not blind. Bob Lee, he calculates everything. He knew the rock was there.
Good question.
And I'm sure he would have been able to shoot him the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that just because he's like not someone who kills people, because we know he's murdered like,
that's like
400 people. That's a very good question. I think for me it was because there's more about the story that he needs to figure out.
Yeah.
And I think he can do. It's easier for him to do that with Johnson alive. Because like he knows he'll either make a mistake or lead him to new information or something. Obviously, he is good enough to get away from Johnson himself, so like he alone is not a threat.
You should have let them rough him up a little more, though. Like that one punch wasn't enough.
What I wish that Bob Lee like shot him in like the shoulder or something, or like the arm. Leg,
kneecap,
anything,
something.
So he can't walk anymore.
I wish he maimed him in some way, because then he would have been more convincing to the whole group that, like, you know, he is the Bob Lee who like doesn't miss, And, you know, he could have played games. He could have been like, yeah, like he could have had more fun with it, knowing he wasn't going to kill Johnson.
He was torturing him.
But, like, you know, maintaining his cover a little bit more. You know, everything went down so fast in that raid that I don't think he needed to really be on the outs with that group.
Yeah.
I don't know if he needed to, like, give up his cover. So, you know, he could have maintained more allies later. You know, he's obviously alone through this whole thing, so it would have been nice to have a couple extra people to call should things go down later in the season. So I wish that, you know, he shot Isaac a little bit more. Also, just because I hate that dude.
Me too.
I want him to
He
suffer.
sucks so
But
much.
maybe even though in this episode he kind of, I guess, tore the relationship there with the guys, I feel like him helping Joey out in the end
Yes.
kind of has a little
Yeah, he
seed
could
of
be
like
an
friendship
ally.
that could be sprouted in.
Very good point.
Even with
he-
the older brother too. I think.
Yeah, he can definitely be
especially
because
because he let the older brother go, and the older brother said like, you'll know where to meet me or
And he
whatever.
saved his younger brother.
Right.
So.
Exactly. So there, even though there is something bad that happened, it could have some good. in
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
too.
he definitely didn't do it like irreplaceably. He can
Exactly.
still fix it, maybe later.
He can mend that relationship.
Yeah, he can maybe mend it. It's gonna take some finesse though.
Yeah.
Still, there's some hurt feelings down underneath.
Probably can do it. He could do anything, obviously.
True. I mean, he was like sniping people on the fly and like safely sniping tree branches, so it would like slow people down but not
So
kill them.
good.
He was in a very tricky position. But yeah, I wish. I mean, if he's as good as everybody says he is, and can like literally flip upside down and like snipe a drone out of the air,
Yeah.
I think he could have shot Isaac in a place that
course
would
he could
hurt,
have.
and you know, again, maintain his cover, hurt Isaac, all in
But
the
I
same, but
feel
keep
like-
him alive. I think all of that could have happened.
I feel like that would have bad outcome too at the same. For example, in the sense of like if he did hurt Isaac or if he did kill Isaac, whatever, it would just make him look more of the bad guy because Isaac is the
He's
only
dead.
person technically coming after him. So
Touche.
even if he's hurt or he dies, it still looks bad on Bob Lee. But having him,
Bob Lee's
Totally.
dead though. Remember?
but now they don't. Now they know he's alive.
No, they don't. Who?
Well, Johnson, because Johnson got out.
But I'm saying if he would have shot Johnson,
And didn't
no
the
one would have
other guy that
suspected
called
Bob Lee
him
because
Jo-
Bob Lee's dead.
But in the end of the episode, wasn't Johnson talking to someone else who said, "Oh, Bob Lee's still alive"? Was
Well,
it
I mean,
Mitchum? I don't know.
at the end of the episode, his wife Julie definitely goes on the news and says it to everybody.
Yeah.
So-
No, she didn't. She said my husband did not kill anyone, but then he did. She did say he is not an assassin. She didn't say he was not an assassin, so I guess she might have
yeah.
given it away a little bit, but she didn't. She never said.
She never
like-
said.
no.
Okay. Ooh, good.
She just said.
I'm
like,
glad you got that.
Yeah, she just
I
said
thought-
this is the guy. The FBI doesn't believe that Bob Lee actually tried to assassinate the president. This is
interesting.
the guy.
But then who would be? What were the odds of like who else would be killing Johnson?
Well, I mean,
Well, no, I mean they knew that it was like this whole group. I mean, I think that the
they're
whole
an extremist group, remember? So if Johnson
Right.
just happened to.
Die by the tree guys.
Right, yeah, and I think that the whole reason that they were using those crazy bullets was to implicate, like,
That
well,
it
I
was
guess, yeah,
them.
like, that, like, maybe Bob Lee was a part of this group, like, they definitely did a lot of things to kind of cover their tracks. Like, this was, obviously, if you assassinate, like, a high government official, you have to do a lot of precautions beforehand. So yeah, I think that's probably why Isaac Johnson like knew where to go, knew sort of the areas. Obviously, he's high up in the government, so he has access to a lot more information. But still, it definitely looks bad to be tied up to a tree when the like ATF comes rolling through and it's like.
But he
"Dude,
was
what are
able
you
to
doing here?"
escape, of course, because Bob Lee just had to leave the
Yeah,
rock.
just couldn't have checked for those rocks.
He,
Bob Lee.
he saw it. Come on, he did nothing passes his like he doesn't miss anything. He
Right.
saw the rock. I mean,
Or I mean,
it was
like
literally right
tied to
there.
ropes or something.
Yeah, you know, but I don't know, whatever. Johnson, we all hate you so much.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that.
Again, I feel like it would have been okay if you just shot him in the legs or like the feet. Can't you just like shoot some toes off? Or something?
No, Not the big toe, because he wouldn't have been able to walk, but otherwise, everything else.
Would that be fine? I mean, you can crawl.
Yeah, right? He can use a wheelchair. That
Isaac
would make it a
Johnson
little
does
easier.
not deserve to walk anymore.
Okay.
Like, let us not forget what he did to Donnie's mom. Like, that just like pushed me over
terrible.
the edge.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to suffer for sure. But yeah, I mean, what do you think is gonna happen between? I know we talked about Payne and everything. I do kind of want to close that up. Do you think? Because now, like, it's Payne versus Memphis, obviously. She flips it around on him, putting things back on, like, shining the light in his face, using his own kind of tactics against him. However, he's well-connected. He didn't seem phased at all by being back in, like, the FBI office.
And
even,
getting
like,
arrested very
on
casually.
purpose.
Yeah, he says, like, what's up to Memphis.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I think he's just trying to instill more fear into her.
Well, yeah, it's the only
because-
thing he can do.
You were looking for me?
Like
he
he
did
was
not care at all.
smiling, like, and you could tell she was terrified by it. But
Because it's like this guy really gives no F's at all.
Yeah.
Like at all. Like he literally just was like,
didn't care.
I'm gonna
Right.
And he obviously got out because on the next episode they showed him like being out and about. He was not in jail.
Yeah, so I don't think it's the end of Payne yet. Plus, Memphis now being like the face of FBI like failure, not good.
I
for
can't
her.
wait until she till all of this is solved, and then like her stupid boss, who's like always a douchebag, like sees like, oh, you were right the entire time. I'm an idiot. Because he's like, I was your only friend. I'm like, what kind of friend are you? I don't want a friend like you. Like he's rude
Right.
to her all the time.
Definitely. He is in somewhat of a tricky position though, because the fact that the cat's out of the bag, you know, it's public knowledge, like her, like Memphis' connection with Payne, that whole like vendetta scenario. If she does end up dying or going missing, like red flags will be raised. So at least there's that. I mean, obviously the plan didn't go as well as it could have. It wasn't, thought all the way through. But there weren't a lot of moves, to be made. Do you guys think that Julie made the right choice by exposing everything? Or not everything. I mean, she didn't.
I mean, I wouldn't have done it because I would have just been too scared. But she obviously is. I wrote Julie is so bold. Like she is. She doesn't care because,
She's
like
boss.
she said, she was trained by her husband. She learned a few things and she knows what to do. And she kind of just went for it. She didn't even think twice about it. So she probably made the right decision because I don't know why yet, but I'm sure it's gonna come up.
Right.
I'm sure in a couple episodes they'll tell us why she did it. But I think she made the right decision just because she knows what she's doing. I feel.
I think she made the right decision as a wife to protect her husband, or more so to be supporting and like backing him up because she knows he's innocent. But at the same time, I think she was way too quick to react just because now she put a target on Memphis's back and just kind of opens up
And her own.
And I think even a little bit toward Bob Lee as well. I think just her opening up lets everyone know on the other side that everyone, including Memphis and the wife, all of them like know what the truth is, or starts pointing fingers toward them, which is going to cause a lot more friction and everyone coming back at them.
Right,
So,
right.
Makes them targets. You're
I
right.
mean, yeah. Do you think that they, like Julian and Bob Lee, talked about it all during their like brief little pillow talk session in the beginning of the episode? I mean, obviously they can't go over every possible scenario, but
for some reason, I don't think so. I think she just kind of, in the moment, kind of went off. But,
yeah, no. I mean, I think the situation kind of happened that way, but I
Yeah.
wonder if they discussed like some type of contingency plan, sort of. I mean, obviously they have a great relationship. Bobby's always been trying to like give her the best of his knowledge to keep her safe, and so yeah, I do think that she made the right choice overall. It's sort of a bad situation either way, but I think them living in fear that this guy Payne is just going to kill them at any time is not good. I mean, there's two of them. There's one Bob Lee. He can't be watching both of them at the same time. and protecting them both at the same time. So I think, they kind of needed a little wild card to throw out. But we'll see how that goes. I mean, he, as we talked about, Payne definitely didn't seem fazed by this at all. I'm sure he's got friends in high places that can get him off pretty quickly. And I don't think there's any real evidence so far that can tie Payne to this, which is sort of why I thought
That's
Memphis...
why he just went in there like that, didn't care. Like,
Right,
what were
right.
they arresting him for?
Exactly, and I think that like Memphis's face definitely showed that he's getting taken in. I've got nothing. So he's definitely gonna walk free. Yeah. Is the read I got? I mean, she didn't say a word, but there was there was a very telling look of this is not good.
Even if she had like a grain of evidence, I feel like there's so many people above her that know of the situation or are in connection to Payne, so they would have cleared it up some way.
Right. Plus, she's not popular at all at the FBI.
Right,
Her boss, who's does not like her at all, is like, I'm the last friend that you had. So if he's the closest thing to a friend, then she's in trouble because he does not like her.
Poor Payne, I like her. I mean, poor Memphis. I said Payne, not you. You're not. I don't feel bad for you. I don't like you. Payne, Memphis. God, I can't think. Forget it. Forget my comment. I keep saying Payne, Memphis. Poor Memphis, I feel bad for you. Payne, I don't like you. That's what I meant to say.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, anyways.
But yeah, I mean, Payne's definitely being bold. He was in, I have to imagine it was the FBI, parking garage. Having, yelling.
Don't they have security or something? Should they have, a security man standing there, who are you? What are you doing here?
Well, yeah, again, I know he can get into those places. He's been in there during the day, kind of conversing with her a bunch. They went over files and stuff. So he's got a legitimate cover that he uses to be there. At the same time, he was definitely saying some pretty questionable stuff. So if that one other colleague did hear any of it, then, that would be enough for Memphis to at least go to while he's in captivity and be like, dude, you heard this. I wasn't just shooting no one. I didn't clock you in the face for no reason. I hope they had a conversation after she pistol whipped him, and was like, dude, sorry, bro.
Sorry, bro. I just pistol
you
whipped
heard
you.
that guy though. That was taunting
I thought it
me.
was actually very smart of her to grab her phone and call him too. Even though the phone wasn't on him,
right?
Specifically, but it was ringing from the downstairs. That's why she started going there. So, again, questionable as to why the guy that came in, did not hear the phone ringing at all.
It's dude, you heard that phone buzz.
Nothing.
What is this?
But I think she was on the right track of trying to trace him down. But damn, Payne.
Yeah. He's very, very sneaky. I wonder where he was. Just ventriloquist.
He just ran from the back.
Like a ghost.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. What do you guys think is going to happen next episode? Shall we make some predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
What's going to happen? I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, we talked a little bit about the bullet making guy who may be a mentor to Bob Lee, because he obviously knew who he was talking about. There can't be that many people that are so knowledgeable to make these crazy bullets that Bob Lee wouldn't know, being so good. As good as he is. I
think that Bob Lee is going to have a very close encounter with a grenade. For some reason, I just feel like that's going to happen. The preview of the next episode helped me feel that way, because he did get very close to a grenade.
Yes.
And he looked like he got knocked out. So, yeah, I think that's going to happen. I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of I don't really know what's going to happen this next episode. There was nothing that was set that really gave it away. I mean, I'm excited to see what Julie's going to do. I like her. I'm excited to see how he's going to react to what she did. If he's going to say, "Oh, good job," or "Why'd you do that?" or what's going to happen. I want to see that, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Interesting. Yeah. No, I'm curious about that as well. Mariann, what do you think?
For some reason, I feel like a lot more people are going to start going after Memphis in the next episode.
Yeah, things are not looking so hot.
Yeah, she's in a bad position. But
yeah, no, not good at all.
What do you think?
I also think that Bob Lee is gonna find the bullet guy, and maybe that's gonna give him more clues as to who bought the bullet from that person, because I think he was trying to find that anyway.
Well, yeah, that's gonna happen. That was in the commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was.
So,
Come on.
No shit. Sorry, I didn't mean to just put you on blast like that, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think next episode is gonna be like more of like a intensity building episode. You know, obviously Bob Lee's gonna go and figure out more about this bullet and how that, like, the conspiracy at large, hopefully. But I think on the other side, the like villain side, Meacham has got to come down on his goons. Like, they are not they're not in good places. We got Isaac Johnson tied up to a tree, like released by like the ATF, basically. Not sanctioned to be there in the least. And Payne is like is being held right now, like at the FBI.
They're not keeping it low profile.
Yeah, clearly things are getting messy. That was like the main thing that they were trying to prevent and kind of hired for. So hopefully we get some Tom Sizemore back in there and just yelling, slapping people.
Well, we'll see.
We will see. Fans out there, definitely tweet at us, at the show, your predictions. Comment if you guys are watching on YouTube.
Please comment. Let us know what you think. We are dying for some comments from you.
Totally, yeah. We want to hear about them all. Where can they find you guys and comment?
You can find me at Desola B, DAYSHOLAB, every social network possible. I always say check out the YouTube. I comment back when I see the comments, by the way. So make sure you do that.
You guys can find me at Mariann_Shag at Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. I'm Mariann Shaginian. Thank you.
Nice. And you guys can find me, JB, at Hey John Blake. Tune in next week for episode 6. We are taping a little bit early, so if you guys are watching live, be soon to check that out. We'll tweet out the new time as soon as it's confirmed. See you guys next week.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.